But the transition actually happened because while I was traveling and speaking, I had my third grandparent diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. And it was in that moment of seeing what had happened with my grandmother at the time, and then also dealing with my own challenges. Something I hadn't yet spoken about in my professional life was that the whole reason I got into this was because around the age of 12, I started fainting for what seemed to be no reason. And after a lot of different doctors' visits and counseling sessions and different things, the answer people gave me was, it's probably just stress. And so as a 12-year-old being kind of diagnosed with a stress condition that was literally causing me to lose consciousness, it was very confusing. And so I did a lot of things, a lot of weird things, a lot of not so nice things to myself, to try to cope with that throughout the years, even as I got into the field. So at that time, and I'm going to share this because I know this group is very vulnerable and transparent, that at the time I was teaching physical fitness, I was teaching nutrition, I was teaching positive psychology, and I was having regular panic attacks. And I finally decided that in this kind of tipping point moment, I need to understand this better. I need to really understand not just the biology of stress and the biology of peak performance, which is really what we were teaching in the corporate athlete, but what happens when the brain gets hijacked? Because I don't know about you all, but we have a lot of information and our clients have a lot of information that we're not actually doing. So it became so clear to me that there's this gap between what we know and what we do. I call it the no-do gap or the no-do gap. So what we know what we do and what we know do, we don't get it done, even with the best of intentions. And that's also why coaching is so incredibly important. So I want to start this before I start sharing my slides, and I'm going to share some slides and some data and some research and some brand new content with you. I want to start by just saying how much I appreciate you all as coaches, and that you're taking your coaching to the level to join an organization like the Institute of Coaching and to get as involved as you can here, because you are so incredibly needed. I started off as a coach, and I quickly realized that for me, coaching didn't make my heart sing. Margaret was just talking before we started, and she said she always comes back, even to this day, coaching and seeing the growth and all of that makes her heart sing. And for me, I wanted it to, but it completely drained me. So now when I work with coaches, I often give them my content, my research, my assessments, and I want to empower them to do the work and be in the trenches with people because it's so necessary. So for those of all of you who are doing that, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think we also need to create better relationships, as I know Coach Margaret is doing, with you all as coaches, with our healthcare practitioners, with our researchers, with our thought leaders, whoever the people are, so that we have a really nice way to refer people. I know for me, it's important if I go do a speaking engagement and I'm talking about these concepts, I always encourage people to find and work with a coach that can really help to facilitate their own understanding and of course the accountability of all of that. So I know we're getting there, and I will just say for me, I look forward to working with all of you more closely